very interesting because another great thing that's in this exhibit is a confluence of so many artists I like in one piece of work. Bernard Kriegstein, an illustrator with very sophisticated skills because he was really a painter who had gone slumming in comic books to earn a living and then found himself inspired by what comic books could be instead of what they were. And that allowed him to bring a different sensibility to comic books. It had its most full flourishing not working with Kurtzman, but working elsewhere in the EC Comics universe. In those horror comics, he was once given a script because he never wrote his own material. Unlike the others, because it was about Auschwitz and about World War II's death camps at a time when that was not part of the popular culture at all. And then all of a sudden, he invented a new grammar for comics. He invented a grammar that was informed by Duchamp. He has a subway station where a train is going slower as it comes into the station. Instead of the whisk lines that are part of the comic book vocabulary, he shows Duchamp's nude descending a staircase as a subway train coming into the station. He's making references to George Grosz. He's making references to Mondrian inside the background and trying to apply it to a comics vocabulary. Sometimes as a theater set designer and sometimes as a cineast, he brought a different approach to what page rhythms and panel rhythms could be. And here he did it in a subject that was of profound importance and bringing it from the subconscious to the conscious. Because he was working in the context, of course, of these horror comics that were all about monsters and dead corpses coming up in suburban and urban daily life of the then present. And to me, that was always a subconscious American Jewish response to the Holocaust. And as you know, most of the comic book artists, it was a very Jewish milieu. It was part of the rag trade, the subculture of literature. And in that world, the horror comics specifically were about the horror of the dead coming back for revenge in the contemporary world. What could that be except Auschwitz? But when I saw Master Race, I didn't immediately sit down and say, I'm going to do a comic book about my parents. But certainly it was part of the deep ground that allowed Maus to happen, because here was an artist using every bit of skill to make something as mature as he knew how to make, and made a masterpiece. This 8-page story is one of the most important achievements in comic books.